Hi guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be making bread. We'll start with 1 cup of warm water, warm to the touch, not hot. Then add in 2 teaspoons of sugar and about 10 grams of yeast, active yeast. You can use 10 grams or the whole sachet. Then we're going to give it a good mix so that it soaks in and let it rest for around 5 minutes so that it can bloom. While resting, just cover it with either a lid or cling film. After about 5 minutes, this is how the yeast looks. It has bloomed, it's foamy. This is when you know your yeast is good to go or good to use. Then we're going to use 5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoons of salt. You can add a little bit more if you like salt, or reduce it if you do not like salt. Give it a good mix, just roughly mix before you go in with your hands. We'll use a total of 1 3/4 cup of water. So we've already used 1. We'll add the remaining half, and the remaining bit we'll add bit by bit as we go. We'll add the last quarter of water because the dough is almost there but not quite. Then we continue kneading. Now, kneading the bread dough requires a lot of time, like say 10 minutes. You'll knead this dough for almost 10 minutes so that we can have the gluten properly develop and have our dough almost stretchy to get that nice and soft bread. At first, you'll notice that the dough is slightly sticky, but the more you knead it, the more less sticky it becomes. So don't add in more flour when you feel it's sticky, unless it's too sticky. In that way, you would have added a lot of water. In the event you've added a lot of water, don't panic. Just add in flour bit by bit until you get the right consistency. So I'm just stretching the dough. At the moment it's breaking while stretching, but you'll see the magic once it proofs fast. So just stretch it to develop more gluten. After 10 minutes, the dough is ready. So I'll just give it a rough shape, then cover it with cling film and allow it to proof. You know it's ready when it bounces back and it's not sticky, and it's just beautiful. So before you cover it with cling film, you can apply some oil on top of it all round, then just flip it so that when it proofs, it doesn't stick to the surface of the cling film or to the surface of the bowl you're using. You can cover it with a clean kitchen towel or cling film. I prefer cling film because it locks in all the warm air. Given that it's the cold season, it will take a long time before it proofs to where I want it. So to fast track the process, just warm a little bit of water in your microwave, then switch it off and place the dough to proof here. It will proof faster as compared to when you leave it outside. This is the dough after around 45 to 1 hour. It has doubled in size. The next step is to line your tins with a little bit of oil or butter. This next step is just to shape the dough before proofing it for the second time. It should take you approximately 2 minutes to complete this step because you want to work as fast as possible. Notice how stretchy the dough feels. It's very elastic at this point. I'm just happy with how it is. This is how the dough should feel and look after the first proofing. We'll knead it for around 30 seconds before we now divide and shape. Divide the dough into 2 equal parts, then start shaping. We shape so that we can remove all pockets of air and have an even bread so that it bakes evenly. This step also helps the dough to have nice even pockets of air during the second proofing. Just spread the dough and then fold as illustrated and rub it gently just to close the seams. Then the part where it has the seams, that is the part which goes to the bottom of the pan. Place it on the pan and let's repeat the process. We'll now do the second proofing. Cover them and place it in a warm area, or if you're in a warm place, just cover them and allow them to proof. We want the bread to double in size before we place them in the oven. This is after 10 minutes and this is after 15 minutes. Once the dough has doubled in size, preheat your oven to 175 degrees for 10 minutes. You can add a little bit of water while preheating to create nice moisture in the oven. But you can preheat the oven without the water inside. I just like the punch that it gives the bread while baking. We'll now remove the cling film and this is how it looks. It has doubled in size. You can even let it double further, but since we're in a cold season, this will just do. On one of the tins, I didn't place the seam at the bottom. This is what happens, but the beauty of rolling it to the surface is that it closes the seam so it won't break. Once the 10 minutes are up, remove the warm water if you had placed it, then put in your bread and let it bake for around 40 minutes. Your bread can also bake for 30 minutes depending on your oven. Mine will bake for around 40 minutes. This is how the bread looks after 40 minutes. It's fully baked. To know if it's ready, you knock on it and it will give you an echo sound, like, I don't know if you can hear it. It's more of a hollow sound, so that's how you know your bread is done. If it doesn't give you a hollow sound, the bread is not ready. Just close the oven and let it bake for around 10 more minutes. But my bread is ready. You can hear the sound. Immediately your bread is out of the oven, brush it with butter, Blue Band or olive oil, then let it now cool down. You'll remove the bread from the tins after around 10 minutes to continue cooling out of the tins so that it doesn't become soggy, because the more the bread stays in the tin, the more moisture it locks in the tin. so it's best to remove it and let it cool down outside to avoid your bread being sticky. The bread is now around 80% cool, so I'll just slice it to show you how it is. The crust is still a little bit tough, but not to worry. Bora, the inside is nice and soft and warm. Let me show you how it looks. It has baked nicely, the pockets are nice and even, it's so soft, just beautiful. As you can see, with the current inflation, you really don't need to buy bread anymore. Just make yours at home and enjoy fresh bread. It's so easy to make your bread at home and enjoy freshly baked breads from your home. It's so nice, it's soft, it's flavorful. Remember, you can use either milk or water. This was just the simplest bread recipe that I wanted to share with you. Anyway guys, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're new here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. In the meantime, serve your bread how you like it and enjoy. See ya.